The economic chaos that followed called attention to banks' role in our monetary system and how we depend on them. Debt, both public and private, seemed to have proliferated without limit. Government money printing policies, known as quantitative easing, caused us to question how money could keep its value when it could be created so easily at the touch of a button. And why, we asked, were governments so concerned to repay their debt if they faced only an artificial shortage of cash? Technology, too, has called our attention to how money may not be all that it seems. What we thought it was, metal coins and paper notes, is disappearing, and now we can pay just using our fingerprints, for example. Then there are new types of money appearing out of nowhere, cryptocurrencies that seem to rocket in value one day and plunge the next, attracting acolytes convinced they will transform society, as well as plenty of speculators just looking to make a quick buck. This book aims to demystify money, explaining where the faith that we have in it comes from, how it is sustained, what it allows a society to do, and what more we could do with it in the future. It should, hopefully, make the story a bit easier to understand. That economics struggles with money might sound surprising, but when modelling how businesses, consumers, and governments interact, economists have often got rid of money entirely. The 19th century economist and moral philosopher John Stuart Mill once wrote that there could scarcely be a less important thing than money. It only mattered when it became disordered. This is because he, like many economists, saw money as just a means to an end. Money itself was not important. What mattered was what it stood in for: real goods and services. People only wanted it because they could exchange it for the things that were actually useful or brought them happiness. Money, sterile and pointless if others would not accept it, was not desired for itself. Only collectors seek coins or banknotes purely for their aesthetic value. What mattered was how production related to consumption, how easy it was to make goods and services, how desired they were. Money just helped us answer these questions by providing a common scale for costs and benefits and a means of trading without resorting to barter. Think about the book you are holding in your hands, or perhaps listening to on your phone. To buy it, you may have paid some money, but to earn that money, you had to do some work, perhaps an hour's worth. Money represents that hour of your time and allows you to trade it for something else. Instead of looking at the monetary price, we could dispense with money and look at the relative rate of exchange between goods and services. An hour of your time paid for this book, but maybe it could have bought a meal instead. Thinking about it this way allows us to understand the actual trade-offs we are making and the actual costs we as a society face between working, reading, and dining. The neglect of money, however, was the source of one of economics' big intellectual failures in the run-up to the 2008 financial crisis. Much of traditional macroeconomics, studying national economies in aggregate, had decided that money and banking could be dispensed with. They were assumed to work just fine. The sole goal of monetary policy, controlling the supply of new money, was to keep prices stable. This book argues that money is very important. To do that, it uses insights from economists and the debates they have had over the role that money plays, whether that is preventing depressions, funding government spending, or destabilizing prices. It introduces a number of famous economists, some of whom are household names, like the 20th century British economist John Maynard Keynes, or the Scottish Enlightenment philosopher Adam Smith. Others may be slightly more obscure. It also borrows insights from sociologists, anthropologists, and historians, as well as a few philosophers and plenty of journalists. This is because money is not only about commerce, but about lots of other things as well. Money is powerful. The rise and fall of empires has been reflected in their money. It is social. It affects how we treat each other and what sort of society we live in. As much as you might want to, you cannot avoid money. And while money is often an abstraction, it is always